great book. It showed how people can be driven a lot by people's social status. It shows that if you're rich, then you're probably going to be more popular, you're going to have more riches and just more people around you that aren't really genuinely there for you, it's just for your money. And it shows that when you don't have that, you're just someone on the side who comes to parties and drinks with random people just to like find out what it feels like to be rich. But it never lasts. It's just social construct.
Scott Fitzgerald did a really good job of portraying how things were in that time period, like how society was all about money. Society was all about, you know, how you looked to other people in the community. And it kind of still is like that today. It still is about how you look to other people instead of just how you are as a person.
I like the fact that it's based off in the roaring 20s, so I like the fashion part of it with the feathers and all that stuff and the gold. I like how it was really based off of the rich part, and the rich people really had the nicer clothes.
I learned that in real life you can't live, like have relationships like that. Your marriage should be about loving them, not about money and about where you're gonna be in life if you marry them.
True love isn't real, and money can't buy happiness.
That money doesn't buy you happiness nor love. That comes out naturally. To not be a miserable person. That money doesn't determine who you are. And to also understand from other people's views, like between poor people and the rich. Like I understand, like you want to be like the richest, or you want to be even more richer than others, but you also gotta be fair, you know.
I learned that it doesn't really matter where you live, especially when they separated from like the one side and the other side. It doesn't really matter where you live to have that much money, and that some people learn to be gold diggers for the people who are wealthier than the other people, and they focus their love on more of the money than the person.
Learn that, I guess, like, don't just stay with someone for their money, because what's the point if you don't love them? Money isn't gonna hold a relationship.
I thought that it was disappointing a little bit. I felt that it should have been better, you know, the outcome of it instead of ending it in a terrible way.
I learned that money can't buy you love. Even though I already knew that, it's just like a refresher from the book. Daisy chose money over love, and she's with someone that does not make her happy at all. And if she would have chose love, maybe she could have been with the man that she was with her whole life before, like he went to war.
Social class is more important than actual happiness. Like you rather have money than have love.
Everyone wants more, and everyone wants to strive to be in that higher class. And although not everyone can get it, people will do whatever it takes to get to that class.
It shows that just because you're wealthy, you have all the better things, and compared to like the people who didn't, who lived on the lower side of the town, didn't have much. So it really just affected the book on who perceived who and who had better things and who didn't. So
That money doesn't buy you happiness nor love. That comes out naturally. That money isn't the most important thing in the world. You also need true love.
That everyone wants to know and be the rich person, because that means you're important, and just it seems like you're more of a person in a way if you have more money. Like you're more respected and you're more seen.
I think it's what we can expect from her character. The way she was written, it's obvious that she cares more about her standing and class and how much money she has over love. And that's to say, I don't even think she even loved Gatsby to begin with. I think that it was just something to do to make Tom angry because Tom was already cheating on her with Myrtle. So I think her going with Tom was to be expected from the beginning. I don't think she ever really intended to be with Gatsby.
It's like a double-edged sword, because on the upside, she didn't turn into a cheater, although she did have an affair with Gatsby. It turned out to be nothing. But on the other hand, Tom is still going to be as much as a cheater as he was as soon as they got married.
She was so driven by money, and I feel like that's what ruined everything in her life. She could have had the opportunity to stay with Gatsby, a man that worked really hard for his money and actually loved her, but she threw him under the bus, and he's dead. And she has to stay with someone who is basically doesn't have a heart, and only thing he can offer someone is his money, and that's not like she would have lived a better life because he could have actually given her love because they actually loved each other.
And yeah, I felt that it was very selfish of her, that she should have been with Gatsby, and that she should have left Tom a long time ago due to his affair with Myrtle. I felt like instead of depending on a man like for money and trying to be with the richest man ever, I felt like she should have seen for her own happiness, and that she should have thought about herself and being independent and strong. And yeah, basically she should have just ended up with Gatsby.
Well, I think that she found love, then found Gatsby when he aged for his own success. So I feel as if Daisy should have branched off to find her other true love and not waiting on anybody else. I do believe that eventually in the story she branches off back to Gatsby because he has all this money, and I feel like that was wrong because you're considered a gold digger and no one likes a gold digger.
I think she was smart in not waiting because she, in the long run, didn't know when he was gonna come back, or even if he was gonna come back. He just said he was going to. So why put your life on hold just so to wait for someone that you say you love? Just keep moving forward.
Money, I think, influences a lot of people's decisions in life because you always want to be above the class that you're in. Like, it's always a worry to people, like, if I have enough money to buy this, to buy that, if I can, like, have this in life. And sometimes I know your parents tell you marry someone who can support you and who can give you what you need, but then at the same time, you're not going to marry someone like Tom, who has all the money, but he can't give you love. He can't give you faithfulness. He can't give you loyalty. He just gives you heartache and tears and stress, and you don't need that just so that you can have money. I feel like money, forget about money. Just worry about like the person that you're in love with and your future with that person.
You could be a gold digger. Whoever has the nicer clothes and the nicer shoes, nicer hair, whoever has the better things, most likely a girl, especially back then, would want to go after that type of person. It was really a sense of I, and whoever had the most money was the popular and had the better thing. So the male would probably provide for the woman, and that's really what women wanted. But the money aspect of it, the girls are really just gold diggers in my opinion.
It can have its positives and negatives. I mean, it's I don't like that like some women and men will go after someone else because of their money, because they want to live that lavish lifestyle and have everything and get everything that they want. So some people might just be with someone for that, but also if you're in a relationship and you truly are in love with someone and they just so happen to also have money, I mean, I guess that's a positive, but at least you have a bond that's not money.
Money could turn into greed, and greed leads to like problems in the relationship. So money is more of an evil aspect to a relationship than a good part for a relationship.
I think if Gatsby had been old money instead of new money, Tom, first of all, would have respected him more, because from the beginning, Tom was always talking about how it's better to be new money. Like, you know, that was just the whole consensus of the book. If you were old money, you were better than people who were new money because you were born with it. So I guess for some reason, being born with money made you better than someone who earned it themselves. So I think that Daisy would have stayed with Gatsby if he'd had money since the beginning, you know? She would have had more of a reason to wait for him instead of going with Tom for Tom's money, because Tom and Daisy are in a loveless marriage. Like, they don't love each other. It's all about money and class. So I think that Gatsby had been born with the money, and Daisy would stay with him.
I feel like he would be less down to earth, and he would be more of a supercilious, arrogant character like Tom is. But since he had to work for his wealth, he felt what it was like to be in the lower class, and he has that sort of down-to-earth feel, which is why it would be different.
Yes, because Daisy didn't know that Gatsby was going to come into wealth. So, like, if he was born wealthy and she knew he was wealthy before he left, I feel that she would be like, I don't have to look for someone else. He has money. I can have like a stable, like, living arrangement. Everything will be perfectly fine because we have money and I love him. But since he didn't at the time, then she looked for someone who could support her and what she said she needs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. She would have stayed with Gatsby. She should have chose love over anything. She didn't do that.